Welcome back to R Performance Garage. Today is part 3 to the series of the 67 Chevelle. Stay tuned. We're going to get a lot more done. So, since you last seen this, you can see all the turbo piping is completely removed from this car. I decided we're going to finish TIGging up all the wastegates and all the individual welds and get it 100% ready and strong so that when we're ready to start up, we have no issues. So what do I mean by plumbing? As you see here, the water pump is now installed. We're going to go ahead and create a hose right there that has a steam pipe. The steam pipe will go here on this hose to there. Let me go ahead and grab that fitting and show you what I'm talking about. Okay, here is the steam pipe port here. I usually like to make AN fittings from the water pump to the radiator, but for now we're going to go ahead and run this just to get it going. They work fine, they do the job. It's not the greatest, but it does what it needs to do. So this goes in the middle here somewhere, so we'll have to make some hoses. We're going to cut some 90s and just kind of put this in the middle, and then we're going to put a nipple on here that puts a little hose to the steam pipe. So we're going to build that, and then we're going to get a swiveling thermostat housing. The swiveling thermostat housing will actually point it down so that we can create a hose to go from the bottom radiator hose to there. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so from experience, this is not my first rodeo. This is the belt hose that I went with. It's a 207A3 Gates hose. It actually works really well with Chevelle. Chevelles are all pretty universal for the most part when you do an LS swap. So I went ahead and just went with my gut instinct and I cut it to pieces and it has the perfect 90s. So let me go ahead and show you that, but I got a quick story for you. My son comes to me and he says, "Hey Dad, are we gonna work on the Chevelle?" I said, "Well, yeah, we got to finish that project, man. You said we were gonna do that." So he comes to me and he says, "All right, cool. Wait. Are we gonna start it? Are we gonna start it, Dad?" And I'm like, "Well, son, we got to finish the plumbing. It's got to have cooling. It's got to have fuel. It's got to have all the stuff hooked up or nothing's going to run." Then he goes, "I don't want to do that." I said, "I know, son, but that's just part of the gig. You want to get it running, you can't just throw the motor in and start it. You got to get all the stuff on it." And he goes, "That's on you, Dad. You got that. You call me when you're ready to start it." That kid. Here are the hose clamps. I'm just going to go ahead and get that on there ahead of time. Here is the fitting. Let's just try to get that started. Point that steam port up. And then I can't recall which direction. Sure, it'll work both ways. So let me go ahead and get this on here. All right. And then let's see. Looks like it's going to work. Just going to slide a couple hose clamps on. Good. Oh, yes. Perfect. See? I'm telling you, this isn't my first rodeo. However, I made a rookie mistake and didn't put this clamp on. Whatever. Let's go ahead and get that on here. So the coolant hose here, like I said, is not ideal. Obviously, AN fittings are pretty, but they're easy to work with. You can route them anywhere you want around things. But if this does the job, then it's good enough for me. It's good enough for what I need. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten this down. This clamp is a 1 to 2 inch universal clamp from O'Reilly. Unfortunately, it seems like it's pretty long. Should have gone with a smaller clamp, but whatever. I'll trim back the tail. So we'll get a wrench on here. Okay, that's good. And you don't want to watch me tighten these, so I'm going to go ahead and finish this, then we'll get on the lower one. All right, so we got this tightened down. The clamps are kind of annoying me. Can't stand these little tails, so I'll probably change them out in the future for smaller clamps or just cut these off, whatever.
we'll just clean it up a little bit. But here is my nipple. All right, there it is. We're gonna go ahead and throw some thread sealer on it. It's not necessary, but I'm gonna do it anyway. It's just how I do things. Don't need a lot. Ironically, it will spread out as you thread it in. And like that, voila. Let's go ahead and tighten that sucker down. Perfect. Nice and tight fit. Now, as you see, nipple. Now we just got to get the hose. Yes, the hose. And we're going to go ahead and slide this on. I unfortunately do not have the clamps that I want. So I'm going to go ahead and get a cutter. And I'm going to cut this just like that. And then we'll get some clamps on it later. But for now, that's set up just right. And snip. And there we go. Come on. Slip. There we go. Yeah. Get on there nice and tight. Okay, so what I want to show you before I continue is this steam hose can go to so many different locations. It does not have to be done this way. This is just one of many ways you can do it. On an LS3 pump, you can go here. This is actually going to be my temperature sender. I went ahead and threaded and tapped a temperature sender on the side here. You could put it here. You could drill a hole 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 there. You can drill it anywhere. You can weld a nipple onto the radiator. There's so many different places that you can put the steam port. But basically, it just needs to escape air bubbles for the steam, and that is why this thing is here. So let's move on to the bottom. All right, so now the lower radiator hose is done, and it was a son of a gun to get on there because we had two different sizes for the nipples. I just made my own fitting, and here we are. We have a bottom radiator hose. Now, here is the bypass for the heater core. I'm going to go ahead and add a heater core in the future, but for now, it's just a loop. And then we have the top radiator hose here, the nipple. They now have clamps. Coolant system is almost complete. What's left here is the overflow. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what that looks like, and we're going to get it installed over here.
All right, so I had an epiphany, whatever, and realized that I don't want to forget to put the pipes in. If the pipes don't work with the radiator hoses, I wasted all that time for nothing. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in real quick. Here's the hot side. We'll slide it under here, and hopefully no issues. And as if I got lucky, looking pretty good. Try to get this one started. I'm using these because the pipe's a little warm. Now that the lower radiator hose is figured out, top radiator hose is ready, the steam line is ready, the radiator has the nipple for the overflow. I'm going to go ahead and take this hose, and as you see down here, I went ahead and removed some of the stock stuff that was in the way here and added this overflow tank. So I got to tighten that bolt and this bolt. That'll tighten up all these, and we should be in good shape. But before I do that, I'm going to take this line and I'm going to try to find out how long I want it. So we'll go under this. We'll actually take this whole line under this. We'll probably tie it off to the radiator here, like such. So this will be pulled back, this will be here. Then we're going to come around and back to here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that right there. And then we'll go ahead and slide this sucker on here. And we'll get to tightening this and the radiator down and putting some clamps and some zip ties on this to hold this in place. And the cooling system will be done. So now we'll have to move on to the fuel system. All right, so onto the fuel system. I actually took the car in the air. I wanted to clean some stuff underneath, get it ready to do the fuel system. But I'm going to go ahead and show you what we're using. I want to run E85 and alcohol on this car. Basically, when I'm driving across the country, E85 is really hard to find, and I can't just get alcohol at any given gas station. as we all are very well aware. So I'm going to have several tunes, several things I want to do as I'm driving, and when I'm going across the country, I'm going to be able to find 91 octane, so I have a tune for 91 octane. Just kind of cruise along. You don't need anything special for that. But when you are running the 85 in alcohol, this is called PTFE fuel hose. It has a nylon or plastic tube on the inside that protects it from the ethanol. Ethanol likes to eat rubber, so, I mean, it eats away your fuel line. So run PTFE if you're going to go ahead and run that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the crossover tube on the front of the fuel rail first. But to do that, I'll show you a quick rundown on how this works. You unscrew this. See the collar on the inside? See how that's flared? You slide the flared part on first. See that? Then when that's on, you take this tape off. And then when the tape is off, you can actually see that the nylon or whatever is on the inner core of some metal and some of the fabric that goes on the outside. You use the collar, you slide it around the plastic nylon, and the outside goes over the collar. Hard to do. I'm not actually going to make this line because this is not the line I'm going to use for the crossover. It's just an example. But once you have that on, you go ahead and press the line. Press it hard against this collar. And on the inside of the collar, you'll actually see, it's got a little edge there. You want that plastic all the way to the edge, all the way up there. Then once you have that, you go ahead and slide this piece in as such. Whoop. And then imagine the collar's there. Then you tighten this down. That's it. Now, I have a lot of lines to make. I'm going to get started on that front crossover for the fuel rail, and we're going to go from there. So let's get going. All right, so that wasn't too bad. Got the crossover line done, blew the lines out, got all the plastic, metal, debris, rubber, whatever, all out of it. You do not want that in your fuel system and your injector. So trust me when I tell you this, blow them out, clean them out. Make sure you get that clean. You don't want that. So I clean every single line before I even install it, and I clean the rails before I install them, and I clean them afterwards. Clean, clean, clean. Now, here is my regulator that I'm going to use. Has a 5mm plug right here, which I'm going to go ahead and take out, and I'll show you the options here. I can make an adapter to run both of these, but here is the Aeromotive mechanical fuel gauge. Fantastic when you want to see it under the hood, it's great. But I have a transducer, or whatever they call it, for, it's actually 0 to 100 PSI for the Terminator X Max system. I'm going to go ahead and thread this in here instead. That way I can actually tune and read my regulator from the Terminator X Max on my dash. So I'm going to go ahead and decide where I want this. I'm looking at the firewall. This is for the return side of the fuel. So I got to decide which side I want return and which side I want feed. Quite honestly, it can go on either side, but not really sure. I could potentially put this right here, but then it'd be really, really close to that, and I don't like that. So what I'd prefer to do is potentially put it on the other side and create more space. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to remove the AN male side and this plug and switch sides. We'll mount it on the other side, and then we'll go ahead and start making the lines. So here we go. All right, so the regulator is installed. Everything's ready to go. I want to make a supply line and a return line going down. So to do that, I want to get the car up. So before I get the car up, I want to get the turbo back on and get all this finished so I get everything up here done. All right, so I have my wife and my son here to help. I need you to hold this up while I put the clamp on because this thing is heavy. So if you could just hold this like this. Oh, right here. Hold this like this, Mom. Oh my God. See the thing down here? It is heavy. Oh, okay. I see it. You gotta line it up.
Race, lift that. Just a hair. The front.
Slide it this way here.
I'm trying. Lift it. Race. Just a hair. There you go.
There. Dang it.
Go. Leave it. Keep on the moves. Good job, bud.
All right.
Got it?
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
Love you.
Love you too. So now the turbo is good. I just got to clock it and put on the intake tube. So let me grab that real quick. Now that I plan to leave the intake tube the way I want it for permanent, this O-ring actually goes around the flange. So I'm going to go ahead and bring you in here.
All right, so here is the intake flange, not mistaken by phalange. It has an O-ring that goes here, so let's turn this turbo, clock it the way I need it. Yep, it's heavy like I showed you. Then we got to slide it to position. And just like that. So what I'm going to do is get the V-band clamp, which is here. We're going to tighten it around here. Okay, so now we have the oil feed line. I just realized that before I get underneath, I have to get this sucker on there because I got to be able to get it onto the side of the basically oil filter housing area. So I put some Teflon tape on this. I'm going to thread it in here, make sure there's no oil leaks at the top of the turbo. And just going in nice and tight. Perfect. Now I have this line here that I'm going to try to route it. For now, let's just thread it here. All right, so we'll clock it this direction. All right, that should be nice and tight. Now I want to try to feed it through the manifold, if I can. Let's see if it reaches. Okay. And then we'll pull it down and back under the car, and hopefully, yeah, that's what I thought. Hopefully it reaches, and it looks like it's going to. So we're in good shape. So now that that's there, we have the oil feed line. We have the oil return line. We'll tighten in underneath. The turbo is clocked so it's down for the oil flow. We have room for the air cleaner. We have the cold side and the hot side done. So most of what we need done up here is complete, other than the breather tank, which we'll do when we bring it back down. But tonight I'm gonna wrap it up. I'm gonna go spend some time with my kiddo, play some basketball, play some games. And then tomorrow he will be joining us and we will get underneath his car and continue.
All right, welcome back. Today's a new day. You got Stinky and I. Played some basketball, played some games, knocked down a tree.
goes! Going!
And now we're going to lift the car up, work on the fuel lines underneath. Let's get started. Let's go lift it up. There you go. All right, so a year later, it's finally up in the air. Race, what are we gonna work on? Fuel lines. So what we're gonna do is bring you under here, and the little man is gonna actually show me where he wants to route it. So let me get the camera and bring you under.
Right exact place.
All right, Race, what were you saying?
What's the, like, a right exact place up
Well, if they're gonna go up here, okay, where do you want to run them?
Probably up there.
Up there?
Close.
Do you think we should run it down here and along the frame all the way to the back?
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and grab the fuel lines and start doing that.
That one is out.
All right, let's get a hose. All right, Race, come here, bud. So we don't need all those fittings, for one. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna run the lines. And by the way, we have a new camera person, Jane. Go ahead, say hello. Say hello. Jane is my new camera person for a little while. We'll give her a trial, see if she's steady. But basically, we're going to be running the fuel lines up here. Come point up here. Right up here. See my finger? I'm going to point it up here. And then we're going to run the lines down this rail. Keep following. Keep following. We're going to go along this rail. Tuck it behind these braces. Behind these. And then I actually want to figure out how to run it through the rail, or we'll go around to here. And then we'll go up here into the back pan for the fuel cell. So we're going to go ahead and make a line and start running it through. So Race, you have the line ready to go?
Yep.
All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. All right, so we have our return line here, and I just showed Race how to make the fuel line, which, what do you slide on first? Slide the lower part on?
Yeah.
And then what goes on the hose?
I forgot what it is called.
The little silver collar? Yeah, you press it in so it's recessed, and then you tighten it down. So he made his first line. It's looking good. So what we're going to do is we want to run the fuel line all the way back to where the fuel cell goes. And there's a small kink in the line where if you ever run PTFE, the kink is actually bad for the line. It actually ruins it. So do not kink it if you're going to make it. So we're going to cut it off right here, and then we're going to bring the car back down, and we're going to drill a couple holes to make sure that the lines could go through where we want them to go. So I'm going to bring it down, figure out where that location is, take it back up, and finish making the line. So let's go ahead and get started with that. All right, so we're back. We're in the trunk area back here. I'm going to go ahead and explain what the future plan is for the fuel system. Right now, this is an A1000 fuel pump. It's an intake fuel pump. I'm actually going to run this just to get the motor going. I'm not going to get crazy with it until I actually get the full system designed the way I want it to be. But basically, the A1000 pump is going to run to this tank, which will have 3 Deshworks fuel pumps inside of it, 3 400s. That's going to give it more than enough, and it actually helps for fuel slosh if you do wheelies or whatever. It just is a much better system. So this just feeds this, and then this triple fuel pump system feeds the motor. So for now, this is just going to be sitting here until I make a bracket for it. I want to redo some tin under here, but this is going to be the A1000. It'll run the motor for now. It'll be more than enough for startup. So Race is going to explain what we're going to do next. So Race, what are we going to do?
Put the fuel lines over there. See?
You want them
right
in the
there.
backside? Where?
Right back there. You see
Right
that?
there on that
Right
stain?
there.
Like on the stain
Yeah,
right there?
pretty much.
Or
So
you
the
want it
stain goes
here or
away.
on the stain?
I'll do it on the stain so the stain goes away.
Do it on the stain so the stain goes away. All right, so what I'll do is we're going to leave a lot of extra fuel line so I can run it to the transfer tank when I'm ready to do so. But for now, we'll just go ahead and drill a couple holes there. So Race, you go ahead and we'll move this tank out of the way. I'll give you the drill and you can do some pilot holes, okay?
Okay.
All right, let me move this tank. All right, so Race is going to drill. So we put a return and a supply. The return is going to go to the A1000 tank at all times, period, plain and simple. Supply will go to the transfer tank, and then there's going to be a supply to the transfer tank. So for now, we're going to drill these 2 holes. Race, go ahead and start the pilot hole.
Right there. I can't get her correct.
Okay, that's fine. Just put your hand on the back. Okay, so
Okay.
go like this.
Then press the button.
Hold on. There you go.
No.
Now, I'm going to help you get it kind of going, and then you can take it from there. Push hard. All right, good job, buddy. Now we're gonna go ahead and put the cone on and expand it, okay? So let me grab the cone for you.
Tight.
What's tight?
My shoes.
But don't you like it?
Yeah.
Okay, well here's the cone is on it. So go ahead and make those holes bigger. Keep pressure on the back of the cone. So put your other hand on the back. Hard. All right, buddy, let me show you kind of how to do this, okay?
Okay.
So there's a lot of pressure that goes into doing this. So let me go ahead and take the gun from you for a second. Okay, step out. Yep, be careful. Okay, now what you got to do is you put a lot of pressure against it. See that?
Oh.
See how I did that? Can you do that?
Yeah.
Okay, here. Now kind of move it around and put pressure on it as you do it. Let's give it another try. There you go.
This is hard.
You want me to finish it off?
Yeah, sure.
Well, you did a great job, okay?
Thanks.
So let me get this hole done real quick. All right, cool. So those lines they're not perfectly aligned, but that's okay. We're gonna widen them up a little bit with a bigger cone, and then we're gonna put some grommets in. But for now, it looks pretty good. So let me get it widened up and put some grommets in, and then we'll run the fuel lines through. All right, Jane, come here. Take the camera from us. All right, Race, enough with the dog. Smokey, get out of here.
Smokey, go.
Come on, buddy. All right, so Race, I want you to come hold this. Yeah, you got the dog. I want you to come hold this, okay?
1 sec.
Okay. All right, so set that aside. That might be good for the transfer tank in the future. I'm gonna make sure this thing fits inside the hole and we're gonna run it through. So we're gonna lift the car back up and we're gonna go ahead and feed this through the back where we drilled some new holes. All right. So come up here, Jane. Let me show them what we're going to do here. So if you point up here, do you see the regulator? You see it up there, Jane? So I'm going to screw this line on the regulator. Okay. You see it? Or is it just my arm? Well, all right. Well, now we have that on there. So we're going to run this back here. We are going to run this through the frame here. Race is going to clap and dance while I do this. Enough. I'm running it through here. It's a tight fit, so I'm going to go ahead and not go through there. I'm going to go around it. We'll probably put a clamp on here. We have a lot of nice clamps that we can use for this. All right, so we're feeding it through here now. Are we recording? Excellent. So now we're feeding through here. Wish Race could do this. He's a little too short for this, but that's okay. And then I'm going to run it over the rear end and through the return hole that we created. So maybe I go over this. Let's see if that works. Nope, we'll go under it. So we'll run it under here and feed it through. So then we'll clamp it all up real nice to the frame after we have the fuel supply as well. So what I want to do is make sure that this thing is clean up here. So come back over here, Jane. So with that being where it's at, we have plenty of room to essentially clamp it here, run it behind here, clamp it right here, clamp it over here. So lots of places to clamp. So here's the good news. This is temporary. One of these days, we fully intend on restoring this car, but for now, we're just getting it running. A lot of the floor pans and the bodywork needs to be done, but it is a beautiful car, and it's going to be a fun car to restore. So we're going to get it running, get it mocked up, have fun with it. And then we're going to tear it completely apart over winter when nobody's racing. And hopefully, we can sandblast, cut all the pans out, and do some videos on that. And when we do that, we're going to make this beautiful. We're going to powder coat the frame. I'm going to do a much nicer frame. It'll be boxed off, and hopefully this thing will be beautiful. But for now, let's just get it running, and I'm going to continue with the supply line. We have the return line run up there. Now I'm going to run the supply line, which has a 90-degree off the other fuel rail. So Race is going to make that 90-degree fitting, and then we're going to go ahead and continue. So let's get started.
All right, so we made the supply line. Race actually did himself. Good job, buddy. Go ahead and take the supply line, feed it underneath up through where we had the return line, and hand it to me. So go under there. Okay. Reach up here to my hand. Good job. And then we're going to go ahead and put it on the rail right here. All right, come on out. I actually want to tighten this down so it's in the position I want it to be. I want this thing to be towards the return so they can go together. So Race is trying to jump to see. What are you doing, man? All right, so it's hard to do this. Reaching this eye. All right, good. That'll work. One of these days, I don't want any heat from the head touching this, so I may have to decide on my angle, but that'll work for now. So Race is going to lift the lift back up, and I'll show you where the supply line goes next.
All right, so we got the supply line in. Race was brave, climbed underneath and handed it to me. We got it tightened up. So now we're going to go ahead and run this through. But before we get to the disaster that, actually, let's just start. We bought a fuel filter and there's an issue with it. So Race, go grab the fuel filter. Race, right there.
Oh.
Come here. So here is the fill filter we bought from Aeromotive, and it's a pretty nice unit. These things are fantastic, and since we have a pre-filter inside the fuel tank, this is the post filter. So I like to do a pre and a post filter, especially with the 85, and with a good motor, you just want to make sure it has plenty of filtration. Now, here's the issue. We ordered one with 6AN. I have no idea why. That was a huge mistake. So unfortunately, we're gonna mount this actually by the tank. I want to be able to service it whenever I need to. It'll come out of the transfer tank. But for now, I'm gonna run the supply line with the return line into the tank, or into the trunk by the tank, and then we will just order a 12AN and add it later. So on the next video, you'll see the electric in the startup, and by then I will have this fuel filter in my hand with the correct size fittings. But for now, we're going to go ahead and continue running this. Race and I are going to run it in the exact same location that we previously did for the return line. And then I will get on to the additional plumbing of the return of the turbo, the feed for the turbo, and then I'll show you the coolant for the intercooler. So Grace and I are going to run this real quick. Get to you in a second.
All right, little man's going to go play a game of foosball with his sister. Let me go ahead and show you what we're going to do before we take this back down. So the return supply line for the fuel are actually already done and taken care of. So looking at this for the return on the turbo, this is the drain on the turbo, which I showed previously in the other video. This needs to be routed up here as such and tightened. So I'm going to go ahead and tighten this. Good. And we're good there. Now, and good. I'm going to get the wrench on that and route it so it doesn't get hit by this. I actually may make a pipe to get that out of the way. Piece of me is wondering. All right, I actually rerouted the line again. I went ahead and put it on this side of the coolant line so I could actually get a better shot at it, and it gets it out of the way of the dump for the wastegate. So that one is good. We're gonna come over here, and this is the feed line that I ran through the manifold. Let's go ahead and tighten it so that we are done down here. Okay. Looking good. Wonder how the Broncos are doing. It's the first preseason game. Wonder if they're going to be any good this year. Guess we'll find out. I know the Nuggets can be pretty good, as long as Jokic spends more time focusing on basketball than his horses. But, you know, he's the best player in the world, so it's what it is. All right, that sucker looks nice and tight. We are good here. Let's go ahead and bring the car back down and continue on the fuel lines.
All right, we're going to come over here and take a quick family break. They wanted to bet me. Oh, race is missing completely. All right, Jane, here, you hold this. Hold this. All right, I'm going to make it from here. If I make it from here, you guys go inside and make me some dinner. Yep, ready? Here we go. Oh, I missed. Jane's turn. All right, Jane. All right, so we have the, sorry for the quick break, but got to keep the kids busy too. But we have the fuel return and the supply line running through the car underneath. Everything's nice and tied up down below. Lots of extra. That's because I got to get the transfer tank when I get the Deshworks pumps and go from there. But I just basically can run a return to any one of these ports, really. Doesn't really matter. So I'll just get a quick line. I really would like to get a different tank. I mean, unless I can make this fit perfectly with the trunk lid, I don't know. I also want a lot of capacity, but for now, I'll just run the return line right here. I'll put a little 90 on it, and that'll be more than enough. And then this will be the supply line for now. So I'm just gonna put a line on there. But before I do, I need to figure out where I'm gonna put the fuel filter. So maybe I can do the fuel filter kind of back here somewhere, since it's gonna go to this tank. I don't know, I might put it right here. So this might come across here, fuel filter there, move it back to here. I think that's what I'm gonna do, but in the meantime, as you can see, this is going through a rough piece of aluminum, and I really don't wanna chafe and destroy those. So I do intend on getting grommets the size I need and a little larger drill, so I'm gonna go ahead and get those next time. But for now, I'm gonna hook this up here, route this here, and then that'll be it for the fuel line tonight. Fuel system should be no big deal.
All right, so the fuel system for the most part is looking real good. I'm pretty happy with it. Like to get some clamps, tie things up, kind of go from there. But before I get on to the next section of plumbing, which would be the overflow for, let's see, or not the overflow, the breather for the motor, for the Evac system, and then the intercooler, I need to show you exactly what I need to do. I don't want the ice box up here for the intercooler, so I actually want to get it in the back so it's easy to service, easy to work on, yada, yada, yada. So I only have about 3 feet of line. That's not going to accomplish what I want to do. So I have 2 Ys, and I'll show you those here in a minute, and I'll go from there. But I want this to go to the back of the car. So I'm going to take it to the back of the car and show you what I'm talking about. So reviewing the trunk area and what I want to do, the fuel line is just going to go here. I'm actually going to put a 180 on this. So as you can see, this will go here, no big deal. And then the supply line is going to go up over to the, I guess the transfer tank is what they call it. But in the middle here, a lot of people are like, oh, don't put your fuel cell there. It needs to be in the middle for transfer. Okay, fine. I'm going to have some weight here with the battery. I'm going to have some weight over here with the fuel. And then I'm putting an ice box right here. So in a future video, I fully intend to do a small, short video that is just dedicated to building the trunk area of this car. It'll just be dedicated to doing the fuel system and the trunk and all the fabrication that I want to do. And that is going to be on a future video. But to complete the plumbing series in the step or stage 3 of this video, I'm going to go ahead and go to the front and continue with what I was doing. All right, so far we got a lot of the plumbing done, right? But the fuel system is close, but not quite there. I want to get this started in the very next step of this series, but we're going to do a video that's just dedicated to the trunk area. I'll show you exactly why. This is the intercooler setup. We actually have a little mini turbo that runs the water through it. This is going to be in the trunk. I'm not going to put it up here. This is going to look stupid up here. So this will be in the trunk with a tank that I can service the ice and cool it down at the track. Otherwise, it'll just run some coolant through it when I'm cruising around town. Here is all I have for line. It's never going to reach the trunk. It's too short. So obviously I'm not going to be getting this done. I could potentially wire in the cooler itself, but let's be real, this isn't really big of a job. I just have to decide where I want them. I might put it right down here and then go through the manifold to the back and down, but this needs to be really cool. So we'll see. I'll decide on that later.
All right, so we made a lot of progress today, but here's what we're going to do next. This is the breather system, the breather tank for the motor. When you have a lot of boost going into it, it creates a lot of crankcase pressure. That crankcase pressure wants to escape somewhere. So if you just put a breather here, you might be okay, but with the amount of boost that's going to be going through this motor, you really don't want to have an Evac system. So for this one, I'm just going to run it to here. I'm going to cap this side off, and it's just going to go straight here to the fill up, basically where you fill your motor up. This thing's pretty cool. You can get it online for pretty cheap. There's a lot of cheap places that you can get it. You can get it on my website as well, but this thing here has a nice 12 AN fitting. And I'm going to mount this right here. So let me go ahead and mark those lines. And here we go. Okay. Okay. All right, so we have our lines marked. Now I'm going to drill these 4 holes here, which are really hard to see. You probably can't see it on the camera. But we're going to go ahead and drill and mount this here and then make a line that just goes right there. Let's see here. Okay, I'm going into some insulation here. Yummy smoke. All right, so got the 4 holes there. Go ahead and get this mounted, and then I'll show you the line. All right, little man's back, thank God, because I was having a hard time holding the tank at the same time as screwing it down. So, fell a couple times. Hopefully it's not too scratched up, but whatever. So, Race, I need you to come here and hold this tank in place.
Wait, I have to get in pretty much?
Nope. You can hold it from there. So all I need you to do is hold this here. No, not the breather, right here.
Okay.
Just hold the tank, okay? Do not move, because I got to tighten it down, okay?
Okay.
All right, so I'm going to climb under this thing. This is the dashboard.
And it's a really tight fit, so lovely. Favorite thing to do is climb through a dash. No, it's not. How was your smack and sneeze?
Good.
Was it smack and sneeze or snack and rees or mac and
Mac and cheese.
Did you put the wiener dogs in it?
No.
Oh,
Probably next time when Jane does it. Jane always does it.
Yeah. You used to like having the wiener dogs in it.
Yeah, maybe maybe next time you decide to make mac and cheese, you
Well,
can
Daddy
put that.
don't eat cheese, remember?
Yeah.
He's punishing himself.
I ate 3 bowls. Do I let go?
Yeah, you can let go for now.
I ate 3 bowls.
3
of mac
bowls?
and cheese. And I finished my 3rd one without Jane taking a even bite of her seconds.
What? So little man's gonna get in the hood for me. Yeah, there we go. Okay.
Whoa.
Sit on there. Hold this. Put your finger like this. Put your hand against the bolt. Keep it on the bolt. Okay, and then you're gonna go to the other side next, over here.
Oh, come on.
Not yet, not till I tighten that one. Okay?
Okay.
All right, so let me tighten this one. Okay, go to the other side. Tell me when you're there.
There.
Got it?
Yeah.
Is it on it?
Yeah.
Good job, big guy. I'm proud of you. Should we put all 4 bolts in so it's extra strong, or just 2?
I guess we should do 2 and then tomorrow we can.
I'm not doing more tomorrow. We're going to get it done while we're here. We have a long list, which you just got done writing, that we're going to share with them in a minute.
Wait, we're going to do all of that tonight?
No, not all that tonight. But we're going to get a lot done. Right?
Yeah.
All right, so here. We've already done a lot. So put this on the lower side, and then you're going to hold that wrench on there. And then this side goes here.
Okay.
Okay, the bolts are good.
I'm going to have to get down.
Hold on, don't do anything until I get these on there, okay?
Okay.
Because I don't want them to fall out.
And
All right, so
it's on.
is it on there? Cool.
Yeah.
I guess I'll do that one first then. All right. And it's tightening. All right, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Awesome. Now I got to get to the other side, but I dropped the nut. Don't be mistaken by calling me a nut, because I'm not.
1 sec, Dad.
Okay, go ahead.
Got it on.
You got it on there?
Yep.
Nice work, big guy. So, let's see here. You got it on there?
Yep.
For sure? Feels
Yep.
pretty loose. Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Sure did. Good job. All right. So that tank is done. Good job.
was
Proud
hard.
of you.
I actually had to go in there.
All right. Let me get you out of there, and then we'll make the line. Here.
Set that right there.
Whoop. So we got to make a line from here. It goes to here. So I'm going to get a 90 and another 90, okay?
Okay.
So 190 is going to go to here, 190 is going to go to here, and then we'll have that done. So let's go ahead and get that done real quick. I'm going to pause the camera, put the breather back on, and go from there. All right, so the breather tank is now in. We're in good shape there. In the future, I'm going to go ahead and drill out the valve cover and maybe weld in an AN fitting so that I can do an additional port off this side. And then I think we're in good shape. This is the throttle cable, by the way. I got to get that out of there because we are going to drive-by-wire, which is the pedal assembly. So I think we're in good shape. We're seeing some good progress coming along. So let's go ahead and see what we can do next.
All right, thank you for watching the video. We are done. We're tired. We're beat. I actually realized when I did the Evac system, if you noticed, it's a little crooked, little cockeyed. Maybe I was cross-eyed when I did it.
Yeah.
Whoa, don't do that again. Anyway, so little man made a list. He actually wrote up the list for me. We crossed some stuff off. Plumb cooling system, steam port, weld up hot side, cold side. We're going to fabricate the trunk in a future video. We got the fuel regulator, the overflow tank, the Evac system, coil and spark plug wires. No, we'll do that next time. Turbo feed and return line. Stand right here, buddy. They can't see it. And serpentine system needs done. We got to do the vacuum lines, wire the Terminator X Max, run the trans cooler and tank, wire the trans brake, and install the drive shaft. So we have a lot to do.
Yeah.
Little man, we got a lot to do, but that's okay. We're going to get it done here soon. Hopefully we'll be able to start her up in the next video. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to go ahead and wrap up this video. In the next one, we're going to show you I'm going to release the LS Turbo Z that I did a electric steering and an interior in it. We'll show you how nice that is. We actually have a few other videos. In a future video, we're starting on a 1971 Jeep Wagoneer with an electric swap. And hold on, don't freak out. I hate electric cars. Do I hate electric cars?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I hate electric cars. But customer wants one, we're going to give it to them. So we're going to do a full Tesla motor swap, make it an all-wheel drive 1971 Jeep Wagoneer with an electric motor and 3 battery packs. It'll have a range of 340 miles. Pretty sweet setup, if you're into that. Now this one, we're going to get it done next time. So stay tuned for my videos. Please subscribe. Where do we? Up here somewhere? Please subscribe to my video. Thank you for watching.